going to be hearing a lot more about universal basic income. So an income you receive every month from the government, regardless of your background or your income or your wealth or what you own or don't own, you receive this basic income. Canada looks like it will be the first to go balls to the wall for this kind of socialist dream of a universal basic income. No surprise there, with Trudeau just guaranteeing himself another term in office. So it appears that they will implement this within the next year. The bill that this pertains to is the S233 bill, and it's just gone back to the Senate for its second reading. And of course, everyone's being very dismissive about any kind of conspiracy theories and talking about how wonderful this will be and how it's just a framework, it's a notion, it's for people's betterment. But of course, as soon as you're being sold something on the basis it's going to be good for you, that should make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. The idea in Canada is that every citizen from the age of 17 through 64 will receive a basic income each month that's the equivalent of about $18,000 a year. And this will also mean that the cost to someone will be about $85 billion a year. The costs will be around $85 billion. One question, who's going to foot that bill? But Canada's not alone in this. Ireland are going to introduce a universal basic income for artists. So the idea is that after COVID, it's the culture segment of society that's been most significantly impacted. So 2,000 artists will be paid a monthly income of around, I think, 1,500 euros in order to sustain themselves. There won't be any qualifying factors for this. There won't be any kind of approval process required. It's going to be done on I think a kind of lottery, and it will be in place for about 3 years. So an income received by you for doing absolutely nothing at all. In Palm Springs in America, one of my favorite places actually, in the desert, they have just announced a universal basic income of $900 a month. Again, no fundamental qualifying factors, no need to go through a rigorous application process. In Palm Springs, all you have to do to be able to access your universal basic income is be trans. And it's probably going to sound like I'm making this up. I'm not. Just search Palm Springs trans universal basic income. All you have to do to get a guaranteed income from the government is decide that you are trans. So this is a theme. These are the pilot case studies going on. Canada will be spearheading this. And of course, we can see it developing in our own country. You can see where this heads as well. When people are dependent on the state has full control. People imagine this will be money in your bank account you can spend as you will. Well, what happens when it becomes credits and you can only allocate them as the government sees fit? If you wish to own stuff, how will you own it if the government doesn't approve the allocation of credits against it? And how long do you think it will be before the government's telling you you have this many carbon credits, and once you've used up your energy allocation, your energy supply is therefore cut off? Do you see where universal basic income is heading? It is not this soft furry thing that needs to be petted and admired. It is a surefire way of introducing communism or socialism. And it is another step down the slippery slope, and it is being debated in the Senate in Canada right now, and Trudeau already has his pathway set to bring this in. Remember, if you're not vaccinated in Canada, you can't use a train, you can't leave the country, you can't get on a plane, so you're stuck there while this pilot scheme takes place. I think it is worth bearing in mind a few things. It's that if you are called a conspiracy theorist and alienated or isolated by friendship groups, sometimes that is just the price you have to pay for being right. And when it turns out that you are right, you cannot expect that record to be corrected. Nobody will ever come back round and say, gosh, Katie, you were right all along. You just have to bear the scars with some kind of pride. And one of the things we will have to do if we are going to push back against this is work together. We're going to have to work together against the propaganda. We're going to have to work together to hold on to what we own, because we are all looking down a slippery slope where you will own nothing and you will be happy. At least that's what we're being told.